Sports medicine. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another edition on season 1 of Sports Medicine. And I'm your host, Carlos De Los Angeles, certified personal trainer, NASM CES, PES in the works, CNC, and of course, GodFit certified practitioner. And today, I got one of my favorite teachers. She's NASM Master Instructor and Psychotherapist, Angie Miller. Welcome.
Hey, Carlos, it's good to be on. That's a lot of credentials you've got there.
Thank you. Not as many as you, but trying to hold on.
That's a lot. Well, it's a pleasure to be on with you today.
It's a pleasure to have you on. We appreciate your time so much today.
Yeah. Well, thank you. I'm excited about our topic.
Yeah, so interesting. We're going to be talking about how to reset our nervous system, build resilience. Oh my gosh, an amazing topic. Before we start, I just want to tell you, I was watching your Strong Mind and Strong Body new webinar series at NASM today. You were talking with Jason Cooley.
Yeah. Did you like it?
The backgrounds in fitness, that's the beauty of our profession. And my background is on journalism and broadcasting, okay?
Oh, cool.
My passion for communication and teaching. So that's the beauty of our profession, that we are such a holistic, profession. Fitness is so amazing. And how can we integrate all these different disciplines in health in general to, benefit our clients?
Absolutely.
Definitely.
Good. I'm so glad you tuned in. That's very cool. Thank you for that. I appreciate it. Yeah. It's a new series all about strong mind, strong body, health from the inside out.
Always. My pleasure. Okay. So getting into our program, what does it exactly mean to reset our nervous system? Let me hear you.
All right. Well, when I think about resetting our nervous system, I think about that parasympathetic versus the sympathetic nervous system. And I think of the sympathetic nervous system like the gas tank. It's like the accelerator, putting our foot on the accelerator. It's that fight or flight. And when I think about parasympathetic, I think about putting the brakes on. It's that rest and relax. And it's finding that balance between the sympathetic and parasympathetic nervous system. And for a lot of us, for me personally, I'm a go person. I have a hard time fighting off that sympathetic nervous system, always living in that fight or flight, foot on the gas pedal all the time. Hard for me to find the brakes sometimes and to find that rest and relax. And so that's why I thought that would be a good thing, for us to talk about is how do we reset? Because I think that sometimes people think that resetting the nervous system requires that we become a yogi or we go do a deep dive into breathing. And we really don't have to do that. Small steps.
Awesome. So it's much simple that most people think it is. How can we manage, especially in today's world with all this noise and all this aggression, constant aggression, and everything's go and everything is I'm better than you. And how can we kind of like find that balance, and shut down that sympathetic fight or flight response that we're most of the time in?
Yeah, I think that's a great question. And it's funny because I had a friend share with me the other day, and I'll share this story and then I'll tell you, but she is a director at a gym. And she said that when the gyms opened back up, she noticed that she came back and she was always on high alert. And she said someone would call me and I would find myself just busting out and saying something really inappropriate on the phone. And she's like, almost like just like a total lash out. It was like my body and my mind had been hijacked. And she said, I just realized that I had to take a step back and say, this is all new. And I don't know the course of things in this new, way in this pandemic. And I said, well, that's your nervous system being hijacked. That's your parasympathetic system saying, oh my God, you're giving me something I can't handle. And so, having these mindful moments that I'm going to talk about are really important because sometimes we do that. We lash out, and, you know, one lash out could cost us a job.
Wow. Wow.
You know?
That's true. That's true. And even, you know, these days, especially now with when we put on top of all of that, we put the COVID situation, the whole pandemic, and we are being bombarded all the time with all this news. They say no good news, no news. So basically, it's understood that if it's news, it's bad news.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's so true. And we're watching news 24/7. You know, when I was growing up, news was only available, you know, I'm of a certain age, news was only available on 3 stations and at a certain time of the day. You weren't bombarded 24/7 with information that hijacked your whole nervous system and kept you on high alert, as if, you know, the news, the media oftentimes plays off of fear. And so it keeps us on
Sure.
high alert. So,
Sure, definitely. They definitely do. And I mean, I personally, I try to shut down the TV down most of the time. I usually don't watch the news. I try to kind of like stay away from it a little bit because I don't want to be in a 24/7 sympathetic state of alert
mhm.
all the time. And I'm not gonna let the media control me, you know?
Yeah.
So the powers to be utilize the media to control us. And now this is the thing, people, we all have all of this in our hands all the time. We got
Mhm.
our phones, we got notifications all day. If you don't know how to really, you know, kind of like turn those things and be very selective of what you got on your phone, on your tablet, on your computer,
Yep.
oh man, it's gonna be pretty hard to remain relaxed.
Yeah. You know, it's funny because one of the things that I do, as a matter of fact, is having the different devices. I have many, many different emails because I have different employers, both in mental health and in fitness. And I will only allow certain emails to come to certain devices so that I get to selectively choose. If I pick up my iPhone, I only want to be able to see certain email accounts. If I pick up my iPad, I want to be able to see certain email accounts. It keeps my information overload. It mitigates the information overload, is what I should say. Yeah.
Great. So that will be a great strategy actually for
Yeah.
all the people listening out there.
Hmm.
Like how to be able to manage all of this information
Yeah.
because
And
we don't need all that info actually.
no, we really don't. We don't need to answer, you know, from 7 different email accounts. And the other thing we can do is when we have a browser window, open up to, you know, not set our browser window to open up to whatever it is, CNN or Fox News or whatever news station people listen to. Set your browser so that it opens up to an empty browser so that you don't automatically open up to like Yahoo, where it's like, you know, a pig with 7 heads, you know, and you just get chased this rabbit hole of information, and you're, next thing you know, you're on the internet for 2 hours doing absolutely nothing that you had intended to do.
Yeah, sure. Very good strategy. Very good strategy. Like a blank page. I know. I do that also. I do that also. And what about, I mean, the time when we're going to sleep? Last week I had a sleep research expert on the show, Alison Brager. She does a lot of, I mean, been doing sleep research for over 15 years now.
Oh, wow.
And she just made it clear 60 minutes before bedtime, all the screens off.
Yep.
What do you think about it?
I think that's an amazing idea. I think that's a great idea. And, you know, she's done her research, obviously. And, you know, I was listening to a presentation a couple years ago, and I don't know if she would agree with this, but he was talking about how if you're having a hard time with sleep, that you should wake up at the same time every single morning, because eventually your body will get tired enough where, like, so like people's tendency would be, if I can't get to sleep till 3 in the morning, I'm going to sleep till 10. But, you know, in order to keep your system in a routine, wake up at the same time every single morning. And eventually the conditioning of your body, hopefully your body will say, you know, it's no longer going to want to stay up till 3 in the morning because it knows that it has to get up at 7 in the morning.
Sure.
Right.
Yeah, we also talked about that, the circadian rhythms
Yeah.
and the chronotypes. So sticking to the same hours actually also helps your body program like the release of certain hormones at night. So you
Right.
really feel replenished the next morning, ready to go.
Absolutely. But, you
Awesome.
know, You
Yeah.
had asked me, you know, how do you reset the nervous system? And that was one of the things. And, you know, there's a large body of research that says that we don't have to do long increments, that just practice, you know, practice is the mother of skill. So repetition, repetition, repetition. And a lot of times it's just small increments of learning repeated over and over and over again. And so a lot of times when I talk about resetting the nervous system, I just talk about just mindful moments to reset. It doesn't take a lot of time. We don't need 20 minutes of meditation or an hour of yoga. We need simple strategies like what you and I have already talked about, but some of the other ones are just things like taking a deep breath. Okay, doing a gentle stretch. So making sure that every hour on the hour we get up, we stand up, we move around. Taking a walk around your house. You don't even have to go outside, right? Not sitting for too long of a period of time in our own thoughts. Journaling. There's so many just moment by moment things that we can do that don't have to be for considerable lengths of time.
Wow. And these have been proven to be just as effective. So let's say 5 minutes of relaxation does the work.
You know, and what works for one isn't going to work for all, right? So I don't know that I can say that there's a body of research that says that 5 minutes is going to be more impactful than 50, or 50 is going to be more impactful than 5. But I do know that research supports that repetition is key, and that small increments of learning, practice over time, time and time and time again, you know, our bodies respond to that. We don't have to do things for extended periods of time. Kind of like how in fitness, we got it in our minds years ago that we had to exercise for an hour, but do we?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Like a little bit of something is better than nothing at all.
Right, exactly.
And just consistency, which also we can extrapolate into fitness, is key. Consistency and discipline.
Yes, exactly. And that's what
Awesome.
it is, consistency. If I wake up in the middle of the night and I can't get back to sleep, and then I start getting anxious about being anxious, I'll use my breath.
Sure.
Okay. Or I'll get up and I'll walk through my house for a moment, do a walking meditation, come back into bed, use my breath. There's lots of different, you know, I wrote down lots of different things that we can do, just from different breathing techniques to just affirmations. I work with my clients a lot on affirmation statements. So a little sticky note that you hang on your mirror, just reminding yourself about something body positive or something that builds you up. If you had to put an affirmation note to yourself about something you struggle with, what would you say to yourself? I'm asking you.
Something positive. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. Wow. So the power of positivity again.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And say, well, I can do it. I'm capable of, instead of being negative all the time, like, oh, I can't do this, or I'm not too good at this. Like, yeah.
Right. I always say if somebody says they can't, then I always say, you're right, you can't. Because if you tell me you can't, then you can't. Because you haven't left any room for growth. You haven't left any door open to invite the option that maybe you could if you were given the chance.
Sure, sure. Wow. Okay, so simple tools to reset our nervous system. Let's see. In just one moment, let's say specific tools for people, like they can take away from the program today. Like, okay, let's do this specific tools that you can utilize to reset your nervous system.
So a simple breath, a simple walk, a simple affirmation statement that we repeat over and over again, a simple washing our hands, doing something meditative. So just standing at the kitchen sink and paying attention to the way that our hands feel, to the way that the soap smells, watching the water wash down the drain.
Okay, I was gonna ask that. Why the washing of the hands? Because of the sensation of this good sensation of the good smell and being
Could
clean,
be, you know,
being
when
clean.
when you think about resetting your nervous system, think about all 5 of your senses. So you have the sense of touch, you know, it's affirmative to touch and to condition ourselves and to give ourselves a warm fuzzy. It's the smell. It's the, you know, the visual, washing, just the water is a calming effect anyway, right? But it doesn't have to be washing our hands. It could be folding laundry, something repetitive, something that doesn't require a lot of thought. it's just repetitive and takes us into the moment, but really focusing, what does the laundry smell like? What does it feel like? When I hold it up, the freshness, the cleanness, and it brings back memories of maybe when you were a kid, maybe you used the same laundry soap that your mom used to use or your dad used to use. And it brings back memories.
So things we associate with circumstances of pleasure, maybe.
Yes. Yeah.
From our past, or things that we like, specific smells we like. Maybe lighting a candle. I use a lot of candles at home.
Excellent one. And, you know, walking through doorways, there was a special on years ago where it talked about how doorways hold a lot of significance. You know, when you walk through a doorway and you close the door behind you, you're putting closure to whatever is there. And as you move forward, you're moving forward with option and possibility. So they talked about going through your home and walking through all the different doorways, and each time it's a reset. You're leaving behind whatever is in that room and you're inviting in whatever is to come. And
interesting.
It's that whole mental aspect of it, right?
Sure. Wow, unbelievable. Okay, now, how do we build positive emotion to increase our resilience? Let's say.
Well, you know, when I think of resilience, I think of like that person who gets knocked down, and instead of staying down, they bounce back up again. And then you knock them down and they bounce up again, and you knock them down, and every time they bounce up and they bounce up stronger because they're building those resilience skills, and they're learning that they can adapt and that they can fall down, but more importantly, they can get back up again. And so I think that when I think about building positive emotion, I equate that to resilience, because I think that those who are resilient have positive emotion. They have this inherent belief that no matter what comes their way, it's not something that they cannot manage. It might be something they've never seen, but they know that it's something they can manage. So when I think of positive emotion too, I think of getting rid of what I call ants. And it's the ants are the, it's Daniel Amen talked about ants, the negative emotions. So they're automatic negative thoughts. So the shoulds, I should get this done today.
Sometimes we beat ourselves up, right? Too hard.
Yes, I must do this. A lot of these, I tell my clients, I call these absolutes. Things have to be a certain way. They're this or they're this. There's nothing in between. So we have to get rid of the automatic negative thoughts. The I should do this. I can't do that. You never support me. He's always late.
We're always focusing on the negative, right? Most of the time.
Yeah.
And back to the affirmations, utilizing more positive thoughts also, and affirmations.
Right.
Right.
Absolutely. So when we think about those automatic negative thoughts, you know, first we just kind of have to be aware. A lot of times when my clients are struggling with negative thinking, I ask them to get a journal or a notebook and to go through their day. And every time a negative thought comes to their mind, I want them to think about it being like a song on the radio. And I want them to write down whatever the song is singing. What's the lyrics say to you? I'm not worthy. I'm not a good mom. I'm never going to be fit. And then I want you to take note, what are the negative messages? We have to be aware, because sometimes we say them so often, we don't even know that we're saying them.
Yeah. And then it becomes normal because it's subconscious and we don't even think about it. We just do it. And it becomes part of our lives.
Yeah, it's like routine. It's like building mental routine. We just repeat these thoughts so often, and a lot of times people don't even recognize that they are negative. It's just part of their inner narrative.
Yeah. And that translates into everything we do. Definitely. Yeah. I remember one of your programs that you suggested a scale for your clients, like from 0 to 10, and instead of focusing on a higher number, you wanted them to focus on, why wasn't it lower? Rather than why wasn't it higher? Why wasn't it 5? If you said 6, okay, that's not so bad. At least it wasn't a 3. Instead of focusing on, why wasn't it an 8 or a 9?
Yeah.
So how does this work here? Yep.
Did you like that?
Sure. Because again, that's back to focusing on the positives instead of the negative.
Yeah.
And the small wins also.
Yeah. It's a scaling ruler, and it's like saying if you said to me, Angie, I want to lose 5 pounds. And that's not something you would say. But if you said, Angie, I want to lose 5 pounds, or your client said, Carlos, I want to lose 5 pounds. And you said, give me a question. Give me a question for the scaling ruler. It's about readiness. So give me a question that you would get from your clients.
Okay, for example, on a program, weight loss program, okay, we're set to lose 20 pounds. Let's say on a scale from 0 to 10, how confident are you that you can achieve this in the next 3 months, for example?
I love that. That is perfect. I love it. So
right.
How confident are you? And your client says, I think I'm at a 4. And like you said, instead of saying, well, how come you're not at a 10? Because automatically your client bristles and their defenses go up and they feel kind of unworthy. They're like, well, now they got to defend why they're a 4 and not a 10. But if I say to them, how come you're not at a lower number? Automatically they grow, they're more confident, they feel better. And they're like, well, because, I've been eating better and I've really been intentional about my exercise. And they're telling you all the positive things that they have done to be at a 4.
Sure. And then they'll start focusing on the positives instead of the negative. Yeah, definitely. It's worked with me as well. It's a great strategy. Definitely. And again, celebrating small wins, it's a process. Understanding it's a process. It's not going to happen overnight. And especially, again, with what you said, everybody's different. It depends on where you start with the client also. Yeah. Hey, if you're being sedentary your whole life, you're not going to be, start being a top athlete overnight. Right. But if you weren't walking at all a month ago when you started training with me, and now at least you're walking 10 minutes a day, 5-10 minutes a day, again, a little bit of something is better than nothing at all.
Absolutely. And you're right. And, we really want, and that's what we want, is to focus on what's working, not what's not working. Okay. It's a double negative, but we want to focus on, why am I at a 4? Because these are the things that are working for me, instead of why am I not at a 10? And then it's all the reasons, all the excuses. We start justifying why we are here instead of going the opposite way.
Yeah. Unbelievable. Wow. Awesome. We can talk all day about resilience and all this support for our clients and all the people watching, especially these days. So important to give our clients and everybody, for that matter, that support, especially with all this stress we're going on. We still don't know what's going to happen. Hopefully we can see each other next year on a live Optima in person again. I attended both of your sessions online, but of course it's not the same. So hopefully next year we could be together in person again.
Yeah, I really do hope so. There's something about being live and face to face, isn't there? There's just something about that. But I appreciate this. I appreciate the work that you're doing. I think it's very cool. And I love, in talking at the beginning about the stories, I love that you've come from this different background, and that's why you're good at doing this type of work. So someone like you coming into the fitness space is a real bonus, because now you not only have your fitness knowledge, but this broadcast knowledge gives you the opportunity to share it differently than just one-on-one with your clients.
Thank you so much. Yes, definitely. You're welcome. It's a pleasure for me. This is my passion. So, with all this misinformation out there, I wanted to kind of like create some sort of balance. Like, wait a minute, and also you guys at NASM have been an inspiration for me. The NASM CPT podcast, your show, your webinars also. There's Francis also with Wendy and Morty doing the webinars every week. Yeah. Talking about the OPT model and everything. Yeah. So I said, why not? I got to join the bandwagon.
You got to join the bandwagon, and you do it in your own unique way. And that's what makes you, that's what makes you awesome at what you do. So I love it.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it, Master.
Yeah.
Thank you for your time today.
Of course. Definitely. Thank you for having me on.
We got to do another show. There's a lot we can talk to our clients over here.
Yeah, absolutely. You call me. All right.
Thank you so much for being here.
Take care.
This is
Have a good one. Thank you.
Sports Medicine.